Welcome back to Bianchi Law Talk. I'm on the road, traveling lawyer, dealing with the legal issues, cutting legal issues of the day. Thank you for all that support the Bianchi Law Group's and Bianchi Law Talk's Facebook page, as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel at Robert Bianchi ESQ. You know, a year ago, my sister bought me one of those DNA kits. I forget which company it was for. And that was the rage at the time, still is, finding out what your ethnicity is and your background. And I had an uneasiness about it for some reason, just in the back of my mind. And I told her, listen, I appreciate the gift, but I just don't feel like providing my DNA sample to a company randomly, and God knows where that's going to wind up or who's going to use it or how it's going to be accessed. I didn't have a particularized reason. I just felt privacy-wise that it was something that I didn't want to do. And it's interesting how privacy issues have changed over the years, and we used to very jealously guard our privacy, and it was something to be cherished. But with the internet age, it used to at first guarantee privacy, but it's almost accepted now by the younger generation that privacy rights are a thing of the past. Our data is being shared on Facebook and all sorts of social media platforms. And so I was concerned about that with regard to DNA sampling as well. My sister probably thought I was a little kooky at the time thinking that way, but guess what? It actually happened, where law enforcement actually solved a decades-old murder rape case, the Golden State Killer. You may remember this back in the day from 1976 to 1986. This individual was tormenting women, over 50 rapes, 12 murders. He was actually calling his victims back. The cops could not nail this guy, even though they knew he was committing repeated serial rapes and murders. So 30 years later, detectives who had a DNA sample from one of those cases actually went to a public website, GED, I forget the exact term of this website, but whatever, it's like one of these ancestry.com things where people provide their DNA platform to them, and they make connections with other relatives and find adopted parents whose natural parents after they had been adopted, and genetic issues and diseases. It was used for those purposes that the people put their DNA profile in there. What the police did is they went to the company and they said, or actually they put the DNA profile of the sample that they had received from one of those murder cases and one of those rape cases, and they posed as being a private citizen, and it came up with familial DNA. And I won't go through all the complex processes of that. It wasn't of the killer himself, but was of a family member, and through that sample they were able to track down and ultimately arrest this individual, Joseph D'Angelo, who is now facing charges for all of those horrible crimes, called the Golden State Killer. So while there was a really good result about that, there has been a huge debate in the ethicist community as to whether or not this was a proper use of that platform. And you can expect that there will be legal arguments by the lawyers for D'Angelo with respect to the manner in which the police used this database to get the information. I don't think ultimately they're going to be successful, but the point is made. While a good result occurred with respect to this particular case, and it was a brilliant work by the detectives in solving it, it brings up the issues. Do you think you should be providing your DNA samples? Are you uncomfortable providing your DNA samples? Do you think your DNA samples should be allowed to be sent out to other people for whatever reasons? It could be with regard to law enforcement reasons or for other reasons. Who knows the manner in which this kind of information, very personal information, can be used by others. I'd be interested in knowing what your thoughts are on that. But if you are, or your family members are going to send out your DNA samples or have already done it, well, you can expect that these are going to be used in a lot of different ways in the future. And even if you don't provide your DNA sample, if your family members do, there's ways that people can track it back to you. So what are your thoughts? Good thing to do, not a good thing to do? Should it be private? Shouldn't it be private? I'd like to know your opinion. Thank you always for supporting Bianchi Law Talk. For those of you who share these informational videos, it's greatly appreciated. And again, I'd love you to share anything here on Bianchi Law Talk, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Robert Bianchi ESQ. Have a great week, guys. Bye.